And this is what he said. He looked at me straight in the eyes. He said, I would never hire a woman.
Really? Wow.
And I said, what am I doing here then? I said, okay. And I left. But I was so shocked by someone saying that to me.
All right, today I have an award-winning photographer and artist with over 30 years of global experience. Her work has been featured at top galleries in New York and Miami, as well as magazines and books, including Perfect Entertaining. Based on her contributions to the creative arts, she has been named to George Wayne's top 100 creative influencers. Welcome, Luciana Pampalone.
Thank you so much, Mark, for having me. It's so exciting to be here and have a discussion.
I know, this is so great. Like I said, we've worked together in the past, and you recently started a company about doing event photography. Even though you do so much more, I figured this was a nice lead-in, and we can, definitely dig into that as well as your background and everything.
Sure.
So there's so much here that I didn't even touch upon all the things you do. I'll let you do that. So just to get started, tell me how you got started.
Okay, we're going to go way, way back. Okay, we'll
go
way
far
way
back as you want.
So as a child,
No, we don't need to go back.
I was always really creative.
Okay.
So let's fast forward. I applied to the School of Visual Arts in New York City, and I majored in photography. I did a 4-year BFA program there. So that we're going pretty far back there. I've always been laser focused on what I wanted to do, back then, and still photography, but I branched out a little bit. It's interesting because I've always known that since I was like 16 years old, and then going through college. And then starting my career after college, I started as a photography assistant.
Okay.
Most people do. But I didn't realize, well, I graduated with honors from college, but I didn't realize how much discrimination there was going to be towards a woman photographer.
Interesting.
Back in the 80s, there were very few female photographers. 90s,
Yeah.
80s,
Wow.
yeah. We're going back to the 80s or whatever. I got out of school then. But I didn't realize how hard it was going to be in terms of getting a photo assistant job. So here's a good story. So I got an appointment with this photographer, big photographer in the city called Bill Stetner. Stetner was his name. So I show up, the studio manager greets me. I go in to a smoke-filled, cigar-filled smoke office.
Wow.
Like something out of a movie almost.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I don't smoke, so I was like dying. So I sat down, and he's puffing on a cigar, right? And this is what he said. He looked at me straight in the eyes. He said, I would never hire a woman.
Really? Wow.
And I said, what am I doing here then? I said, okay. And I left. But I was so shocked by someone saying that to me. It was crazy.
Right.
So then I kept interviewing. I finally got hired as a photo assistant to this woman. She worked for Time Magazine. She worked for all these different. She was a journalist. Her name was Yvonne Hempsey. She was a photojournalist, and so we'd go to shoot a lot of celebrities, things like that. Go in and out. It's for news, mostly for magazines, for Time or whatever. And then I got hired in an all-gay studio.
Really?
So I wasn't hired by any straight men.
They had a gay studio?
Well, the guys that hired me was the gay photographer, gay studio manager. It was great. It was awesome. But it was interesting looking back. Well, I couldn't get hired by any man. That's the point.
Wow.
So I appreciate the people that helped me early on.
Yeah.
It was another woman. It was gay men. It was incredible. I mean, I was really lucky that way. Because I was just, I couldn't believe because I graduated with honors that I couldn't get an assistant job.
And people think it's like so far back. It's not that far back, right?
Mm-mm.
And
No.
everybody thinks of like Annie Leibovitz and people like that, and like, oh, they've always been doing that. It's like they're kind of not normal. I mean, it's not common.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you've moved on, and you do
Yeah,
well.
I moved up. Yeah. So, moving forward. So during college, I was taking photo assignments. I was working, like, just getting photography jobs. The first photography jobs, it's funny, that I got was a hair salon, shooting the models for a hair salon.
Okay.
So I did that. I did a lot of free editorial,
Right.
tons.
Yeah.
And I still do some once in a while. If
Right.
I
You
think
got,
the
right.
project's
Depends
good,
if you like it. Right.
if it's
Exactly.
creative enough, I'll do it. If it's not, I won't do it.
Right.
So then, fast forward years down the line, and Hearst magazine gave me a break. That was my first big break in publishing. And actually, I got to live in Paris for over a month, shooting assignments in Belgium and in France.
Wow.
So
That's fun.
that was fantastic. And then that springboarded me shooting a lot of fashion catalogs, tons and tons and tons and tons for years and years and years. But I actually went to Japan to shoot a fashion catalog. I had shot all over Europe and also the islands and everything like that, shooting primarily fashion, basically.
Yeah.
So my background is really fashion and fashion.
That's how I know you as fashion.
Mm-hmm. And I apply it to what I do now. I mean, I still do some fashion editorials, but I apply it to when I shoot people. I shoot people with more of a fashion edge. I have an eye for detail. Like, we just shot a spa recently out here. So I worked with models, so I have more of a fashion sensibility.
When you say out here, just so those who don't know, you're actually in the Hamptons,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I think I can hear the ocean in the background.
Yeah. No, it's up here.
For those who might think it's static, it's ocean, so don't be jealous.
Yeah, wait, I'm going to turn you around. I don't know if you can see out the window.
Oh, you still got your Christmas? Oh, see, it's beautiful. Yeah, and if anybody gets a chance, follow Luciana on her social media, because she's always featuring the house, and at all times of year. So I love that.
Yeah, so you can see nature, the whole spectrum.
Yeah, so you're shooting a lot out there as well as Manhattan. This is back then.
Yeah, so I haven't moved out. I moved out here. I sold the place in the city. We sold the place in the city about, it's going to be 2.5 or 3 years ago. So I'm here full time now.
Full time.
Yeah. So I mean, that took some adjusting, but it was something we were like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Well, yeah, and I think too, when people after COVID, people change their whole mindset about all of being out eastern Long Island. For those who don't know, it's you all know the Hamptons, but it's literally 2 hours outside of Manhattan, and back in the day, nobody would go out there in the wintertime because they're like, why?
Right.
But it's changed since COVID. Now you can just it's still beautiful. It's just a little different. Actually, I like it in many ways better because you're not dealing with all the crowds of people and stuff.
The things are still open. All the restaurants,
right.
They still have events out here during the winter. Lots of things are happening out here.
Yeah. And it
But
always has been.
My husband and I have a photography business called Dream Team Creatives. So that encompasses events, fashion in terms of shooting runway, fashion, as well as, I shoot fashion editorial, fashion for designers. And a lot of people come out, a lot of clients come out here from the city. It's great. You would think that, a few months ago I did a huge shoot, and they came out with makeup, wardrobe, like 8 models.
Really?
And I did a rebranding for How to Be a Redhead, that brand. And I actually shot their book about 5 years ago. It's called How to Be a Redhead. It's the only book about redheads in terms of beauty and fashion.
Right.
So it was really beauty driven, and they had beauty products and everything like that. They are financially backed by Mark Cuban.
Okay.
Because they went on the
Shark
show.
Tank? Shark Tank?
Shark Tank. They went on Shark Tank. So they came back to me. They came out in a van, spent the whole day here, and we got some great shots for them.
Wow. So now how much of it, your work now is fashion still versus events, or is it seasonal? What would you say?
Yeah, it's actually seasonal. But then I bring, like if a designer or whatever, wants to shoot here, it's with the event photography. That's like all year round. Actually.
Right. Right.
It's been pretty busy, all year round.
Now, like, say you're doing an event, like, say, in the Hamptons. That's, for those who don't know, there's tons of events in the Hamptons. It's part of the whole social scene.
Right.
How is it different than, say, a basic shoot? I mean, it's nobody's really posing or anything. Like, how do you translate your skill into doing like an event photography?
You got to be good direction. Be a good director.
So you're still directing people.
Absolutely.
So you're not just catching them when they turn their head. You make them do things.
I ask permission first.
Okay.
If you can take their picture, that always helps. Some people don't want to have their picture.
That's true. Right.
It's very rare though that happens.
Even celebrities?
It's it's rare that happens. My husband is more celebrity driven in terms of his photography. He shoots tons of red carpet events in the city and tons of events in the city as well as out here.
Right.
So he's always has some funny stories about celebrities, but he shoots tons more celebrity driven events than I do. We do shoot at the same time for events, which has been very interesting.
So you tag team?
At the same time, yes.
That's funny. So what do you like? I'll take that side of the room, you take this side of the room, kind of thing, or you do that?
Yes, but we discovered that we're giving double content to the client.
Okay.
And also, we shoot with two different types of lenses, so optically it looks different. So,
like, what would be an example of that? Like,
my husband would shoot with a longer lens. I would shoot with a wider lens.
And what's that? What is the difference? What's the output of those two?
Optically, if you're shooting people, you'll shoot more of a close-up shot with maybe a little out of focus in the background because it's a long lens.
That's the long lens.
And then the other lens is a wider angle lens.
With more crowds.
Yeah, but I can get people in that shot too, but it'll look different than that other lens.
Right.
So we use two different lenses shoot at the same time. So that's been kind of wild to get adjusted to because I just started doing that in the last year, less than a year.
Oh, experimenting.
Business. Yeah, it's funny.
Now, do you
work together as a team really well?
Yeah, now you're obviously married, so you better. I don't know if I can get work with my wife too much, but yeah. Now you still do your art photography, correct? Mm-hmm. You've been in galleries and stuff, and I know you take photos, but you also add things to them. Mm-hmm. Gold leaf and paint and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, yeah. I started out. It's a mixed media where I take a photograph, put it on canvas, and then use actual real gold leafing, but it's real gold I'm using, so it's quite expensive. To actually paint into the canvas around the photography. So that's a really cool process.
Now, so you've got your work photography and your
art photography.
The art photography. Do you consider the art photography work or more hobby or just enjoyable? Like,
it's more creative.
More creative. You do what you want.
Much more creative. Yeah. I'm a creative person. I bring back to my clients, but I've got no client. I can just create whatever I want to create.
Right. Right. We still have to pay the bills, but then you can go back to what you like to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very rewarding.
Yeah, no, this is great. Now you've done a number of books, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of the entertaining ones because I think that would appeal to particularly this. And you've done everything from cookbooks to entertaining books, so I kind of think maybe they're all kind of the same, because in many ways, if you're doing the perfect entertaining, which is actually one that I have at home, you teamed up with an author and everything, but you stage, what that table should look like, what that event should look like.
Yes.
So I think people should definitely, tell me a little bit more about that
Yeah.
and how that came about. And
For books, I usually create the environment because I do have a background in still life photography, editorial still life photography, shooting for magazines for so many
Yep.
years. So that I bring that experience into the books. Say if I'm shooting food photography and working with chefs, which is so much fun.
Really?
That's the best. Oh my gosh, yes, yes. I was working with chefs. It's incredible. For the perfect entertaining book, I didn't have any art director, so I had to do the art direction and create basically all the imagery. So that was a challenge. That was a big project. That one.
Yeah.
I was just handed a transcript.
right, I remember when that book came out.
That
Yeah.
was it.
It's a beautiful book. I mean,
Thank
and
you.
for anybody who wants inspiration about, if you're entertaining, at home or it's more geared towards like an individual, would you say, than a big corporate event. So it's
It's not a corporate.
right. It's
more
beautiful.
individually. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful
Style.
tablescape and floral arrangements and just beautiful ways to make your event look incredible.
Yeah, I worked with a stylist on that, which was great. She created all the flower arrangements. And it was just me and the stylist. That was it.
Wow.
Nobody else was on set. That's it.
Wow. How long did that process take?
That took several months.
Yeah.
And I also had to, since I was just handed a transcript, I had to go through my archives and look at what I had existing shoots or things that I've done, that would apply, like flower arrangements or, to apply to that, or even some still life place settings that I've done, in the past. So I had to apply some things because I had to fill the entire book with imagery.
So you didn't have to take every single photo of that moment. You were able to go back to your work and put that into the book too?
Yeah. So I mixed it. So I had a bunch of photo shoots, and then I had stuff I pulled from my archives.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a huge archive, I would assume.
Huge.
And then is that similar to like as you would do a cookbook?
No. A cookbook is shot on site. Some cookbooks I've shot in one day. Some shot in 3 days.
Okay.
So, it's you're working with the chef.
So the
whole
chef,
time.
he makes a piece, he makes a dish here next.
Puts it down. Exactly. I pick the environment or the place settings, and I just move the food around. Yeah.
So I'm going to start getting some other questions here. Like now, if you were to look at other photographer, artists, and such, who kind of influences you, or who has influenced you through the years, or how has it changed, or still?
I would say the biggest influence when I started would be Helmut Newton.
Okay, it's a big one.
Yeah. But if you look at my black and white fashion, I have a collection on my website. It's called Fashion Erotica. You'll see that I wardrobe all the models myself. I create the wardrobe, and it's all in black and white. And there's a similarity going back to that.
I could see that
Artist.
now. Now that you've mentioned that, I can see that. I didn't realize until you've actually mentioned that. Wow. So, kind of let's I'm trying to think, because you do so many things. I was like, describe your process. We've described a few of these things. So, let's say
I have a bunch of stories.
tell stories. Like I'm trying to come up with if your process that the go-to process and how you prep yourself, and like, all right, I got to show. Let's say we could say an event, but say, hey, maybe you're doing a
fashion shoot.
Fashion shoots, probably the one that people probably get most excited about and things seem glamorous. So, how would you go about that?
Well, first we have to come up with a concept. If I'm working with the editor, or sometimes I just get handed like anything. Some magazines call me. They shoot anything, and we'll publish it.
Anything, right?
Yeah, like anything fashion oriented or what they're looking for. So I have to come up with an idea what I want to do. I shot almost a year ago. I shot Carol Wall in my bathtub. Been gotta be 3 years. Carol Wall in my bathtub Indoors.
Indoors. Yeah, I know you have that bathtub outside. So, for those, once again, go to her website. You'll see there's a bathtub outside. She does a lot of fashion. It's still there.
Yeah, I painted it silver.
Okay.
Yeah, I painted it silver. So, I just get inspired sometimes by pieces or things, or shooting in the bathroom is really interesting too, because there's it's so closed in.
Right.
There's nowhere for anyone to really move, so it creates an intimate, say, portrait set.
Right.
If you're shooting something like that, or even fashion, it's really interesting. It's a psychological thing if you shoot, in a bathroom area. But I decided I purchased a bathtub, an old claw bathtub, cast iron bathtub in Sag Harbor. They were doing a renovation.
Uh-huh.
So I got that in the car with a bunch of guys to help me, because they were doing a reno. So they had a bunch of guys to help me. My husband offloaded it, put it near the water, and then I was like, I got to spray paint this silver.
Of course.
I'm big into spray paint.
Why not?
And other shoots I've done where I've spray painted. I did a fashion shoot where I spray painted tools like a shovel.
Uh-huh.
Painted it silver. I did one shoot where I got from Home Depot. I bought this house duct, this silver, tubes, and they joined their HV duct.
Yep.
I incorporated that with models. So there's all these different things. Different things inspire me.
Yeah,
I can be walking through Home Depot and I'm like, wow, that's going to be a cool thing.
I love Home Depot. But my wife is like, get me out of here. I was like,
I love
Home
it.
Depot to me is like, I guess compare it to her shoe department. I'm like, when I walk through a Home Depot, to me, there's just full of opportunity, projects and opportunities. And you look at a tile and you look at, and from an event point of view, I'm like, or housing, there's just weird little things. I'm like,
that inspire you.
I actually have to stop myself from not buying something, because I will buy something and I don't really need it. And I really, but I love going through them, because I think there's just so much stuff you can play with, from lighting to, tile floors, there's just crazy things in there.
So much inspiration, think as an artist.
Yeah, and it's rows and rows and rows of it, things you've never seen. It's just, high the rafters, and you're just like, you could a pile of nails. I mean, there's just so much. I was like, I don't need any. And I'll literally go and stop myself. Like, do you really need that now? Do you need that? Because I really do want to get these things, because I think I'm going to need it. I can't even tell how many hammers I have for no reason.
Right. So Home Depot being a source of inspiration.
Yeah.
I never know where I'm going to find it. I'll be outside walking on the beach. Oh, I like this. That's great for inspiring me to do this or that in terms of photography. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a good takeaway for anybody, looking for inspiration for creativity. It's like everything's, I need to go to the museum. No, the museum's one place, but you're right. Everywhere you go, open your eyes. You can. Sometimes I'll walk, and I love derelict buildings. To me, they're the coolest. And there's what's the photographer? He does the interior of these derelict buildings. I can't remember his name.
Tom Street Porter.
Yeah,
Tom Street Porter.
I think so. But
he does a lot of buildings.
To me, they're fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can see a derelict building, and there's a story here. How did it become so derelict? Who lived here before? Just the peeling of the paint, and you can get why, like you said, from a photographer, you can go wide, you can go close, and I'm just fascinated by that kind of stuff.
I had being inspired by old buildings with peeling paint. I hired an artist. I had a loft on 37th Street, and I hired an artist to make this entire wall of all these different colors with plaster behind it to create this textured wall that reminded me of old buildings. It's so inspirational.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's I look at for example, I'm looking at your background, and those who maybe when we push this on YouTube, who knows when, but you look at even you have a basket behind on your shelf.
Yeah,
it reminds me It reminds me of a brick house, that I've seen in Nantucket, where
I like a lot of texture too.
Yeah, and definitely need that. And people don't realize there's just so much in that texture of things that you can just bring across all aspects, from events to design and art and fashion. Yeah, it's just everything. All the stuff we have behind us is just inspired by various weird things that people don't even know. And now even AI, you'll throw things in it, you'll give it a weird prompt, and you're like, damn, I didn't think it comes out great. You don't know what that was.
Right.
And going to AI, and I wasn't really talk about this, but how does it affect you? Are you playing with it or anything, like mid-journey?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely using it. And I actually came out with a book called Sidetrack. This is AI generated. This is an artist. This is a artist proof, but it's a journal, and it's called Heavenly Blessings, Sacred Full Moon Manifestation Prayer Journal, where you can write in it, but also gives you rituals for full moon. It's really interesting.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but my husband and I, we just did the prompting. That's AI.
So you guys took that photo?
No. This is AI.
Right, AI.
It's all AI.
Yeah, it's incredible the things, and I've talked about this with other people. Some people get scared, like photography is going to go away or creativity is going to go. It's not. It's just if you use it as a way to more to inspire you or give you prompt ideas that you didn't think of that are just so out there that you'd be fascinated. It just opened up a whole new world. I think.
Exactly.
I love it. We've been playing with it. Using Runway for video. We were trying videos where you put the prompts and flyovers. I'm not going to get a drone to fly over Manhattan, but if I type it into Runway, I've got imagery that I would have had to pay for. So
tons,
right?
Tons. And how quick it comes within seconds.
Shocking.
It generates it within seconds.
Shocking. It's amazing.
Even if I write something, I'll send it through AI.
Yeah.
Just to clean everything up.
Yeah. It's made my emails a lot better, I'll tell you that.
Right? Exactly.
So now, if you had to look back in your career, what do you wish you? What do you know now that you wish you knew then?
That's a tough question. I always knew to work hard.
Yeah.
And that's nothing new. Sure.
What would you tell your younger self? How about that? We'll put it that way.
Okay. This is what I tell my younger self: not to stress out as much.
Love that.
That's a big one.
Big one, right?
Yeah. I was so laser focused. I was almost too laser focused.
No, I tell I would be what I would tell myself too. I think back then it would be hard to listen to that because you think your life in your 20s, you're like, you think you have to do everything now.
Right.
But looking back, you're like, you got a whole life ahead of you, and all the you look back and
slow
the worst.
It down more in your mind.
Yeah, and it's all if you stay focused on the big picture, what you want.
Exactly.
And I try to tell some of the younger people, including even my daughters, like, take a look at the big picture. You'll eventually get if you are, you don't. Not everything has to happen like this, and there's this weaving that's going to happen. But ultimately, I think if you stay focused on that, like if you said, "I'm going to be a photographer," you will. Like you've made a career of it. But it's taken you various places. You may not have got
all over the world.
I've
been so blessed.
Yeah, and then it's a lot easier for us now looking back, and you're like, oh, well, that was, maybe I should have relaxed,
Yeah.
So, totally with you on that. And if you had to look back and say some of your most memorable projects, what would you say that was?
Oh, gosh. Okay. So I had to really think about that. I would say going to Japan, incredible culture. I shot a fashion catalog there. Japan was doing an exchange with America, so it was interesting. It was a cultural exchange program, but we got to go there. Basically, the Japanese comped everything.
Wow.
And we got to shoot in a beautiful environment. It's such an interesting culture. It was incredible. I recently, a few years ago, got to shoot in Thailand.
Wow, that's nice.
For a destination company. Where else? Living in Paris. That was huge.
Yeah.
Having billboards of your photography in Las Vegas, in Miami, in New York, Times Square.
That's impressive, right?
That was cool. I'm
Right.
just trying to think. One woman shows, being on George Wayne's influencer list. And I
Yeah.
won an award in media in 2018 for women's, what was it called? Women's Straight Talk magazine, but it's WMOM is part of the United Nations Media Pact group or organization. So yeah, there's been, I have to look back and really think about all this stuff. There's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, no, I follow you. If anybody follows you now, you're actually, you're out and about a lot now. People starting to just see you as your name. You're becoming like this
My own little brand.
little brand all by yourself. I see.
Yeah,
what,
it was interesting because my husband was shooting so many events. Then I would just go to the events.
Yeah, you just go as a guest, right?
Then he's like, start getting me on red carpet. And so all that came about. Then I started creating these crowns, these
Right.
pretty crowns that I spray paint. So there's handmade crowns. So the message behind the crowns is sometimes in life we forget that we are a goddess or a queen. So it's about never forgetting that. And I tell that to all women I meet because people ask me, I was like, that is the message behind crowns. It's for all women.
Thank you for telling me that because I did not know that. I just thought that was your signature look. All right. No, I definitely put that out there more, and people should keep that in mind. That's a great message.
Absolutely.
Because that is, but if you see you out and about, you will have your crown on.
Yeah, because it's made me very recognizable. Yeah. So it's helped me so much. I mean, it's helped me get photography shows. It's helped me in such an amazing way.
And people wouldn't even think that little... But it does definitely make you recognize. Not that you're not recognizable, but yeah, that the crown definitely, it could pick you out of a crowd, in those.
It's easy to pick the thing out of the crowd. It's crazy.
So now, what advice? And that's a good advice for anybody, trying to keep sense of who they are with the crown idea. I love that. Somebody coming up, what advice would you give them if they wanted to do what you do at photography or just being a creator and making a living at it? I mean, you've definitely, you're a working photographer that's done this all your whole life, and you go back and forth between, you got your work photography, you got your events, you got your photo shoots, you got your art, your true art. What advice would you give somebody outside of be patient? They're not going to listen to that one.
I would say always be on time.
That's a good one.
Always be on time for meetings. Always be on time for your deliverables. If you have a photo shoot, make sure you deliver your content on time.
Love that.
That is a huge thing. I think I wrote some more things down. Research your client. Really research your client. Also, listen to your client. I take a notepad to my meetings. And I have a notepad here with a pen. And just really listen to what they want.
Right.
Or what they envision.
And they may not always tell you, too. You almost have to watch them sometimes. So we do it in meetings, too.
Notes.
You look at, what are they, if you show them something, sometimes you look at a client and they respond, and you're like, I'm not getting the response that I think I should be getting. They won't tell you something verbally, but they may tell you with body language. I think that's interesting too.
Exactly. Also, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it's really funny, and I've done this all my career, is work out. Physically work out. If you're going to have a job like this, you better be in great shape.
Yes, you've always done that. That's where we met you. That's where.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
I agree with everything you're saying 100%. I think everybody, just your general workout, it keeps the brain, tight. You actually can think, and you can do the things you want to do. I mean, nothing worse than like, if I couldn't get out of bed.
No, lifting things. I'm talking about actually lifting, staying in shape so you can actually lift.
Yeah, lift things and have the stamina to work a whole day doing, even if it's something you love doing. You gotta still, be up for it.
It's very physical. It's a very physical job. It's mental and physical.
Right. I mean, if you're doing an event, right? If you let's just say you're working an event, we know what we do, how physical it is. We're exhausted by the time we finish, setup, breakdown, and
It's all the
everything.
lighting equipment. Say if I'm shooting fast, it's all the lighting, all the equipment. Also, all those years traveling with the gear through airports. That's a whole other.
Right.
You better be strong enough to lift these 50-pound bags.
Yeah. I mean, I had the chance back when I worked at Condé Nast to be on a fashion shoot. It was a lot. It was exhausting, and I was in charge of production. Somehow they got me involved in some Caribbean island helping, logistics and hotels and teams of 10 people and crews and the photographer. I was exhausted by the end, just mentally exhausted. Just kind of they look to you and like you have to have all the answers so that they can do their work, so that they can do their part. I had to do my part. So to make their life easier. So everybody, even on a fashion, everybody's got to do their part, and you know where the weak link is. Doesn't make your life any easier.
Yes. That's why you should always travel with really good crews. You should always travel with people you've already worked with a lot.
Right.
That's good advice too. Sometimes you're forced into, working with people that you don't know, on location or whatever. You just do it,
But you don't want that to be the whole crew. And maybe you can, and we do it too. Maybe you have to introduce a few new people into the crew, regardless. You just have to. But you don't want that to be the rule where 80% of the people are new. Because then you're just fighting. You may get lucky.
The main thing for me is having a photo assistant that I know and work with. Well, that everybody else really, in a way, is superfluous.
And what would a photo assistant do for you? Because I don't really know. I mean, I generally know, but what would a phone assistant for you do?
They would help me carry equipment.
Okay.
They would help me to set up. I've always, from youngest in my career to now, I've always worked alongside my photo assistants. And it's a psychological thing, too. So I want to know. It really creates loyalty because you are in the trenches with people when you're actually setting gear up, moving it around. You're not sitting there like a photographer. There are a lot of photographers who don't set anything up. They never touch a piece of equipment.
They just show up.
Yeah, and then show up, exactly. So that's, So the photo assistant is essential. And also for keeping my files when I'm shooting digitally. I shoot live capturing, so I have to have that organized, especially when I'm shooting a lot of shots in a day. I'm shooting so quickly. Sometimes I'm used to shooting a high volume.
Right.
So I have to have them organize the files.
That makes sense. Right. So that once again, you can just be creative and, let them deal with it because it would get out of control. Now, it's interesting because it's the same kind of, when we're doing events, it's the same thing. We have to have assistants and we have to have production assistants and people who can, like you say, keep the organization because you're moving so fast. And we're in a creative environment that, you need people who can kind of just stay focused on the task. Exactly. And I think, too, the importance of having an assistant or being an assistant, you start as an assistant, I started as a production assistant. You kind of have to do that. If you think you're going to become a photographer, I guess you can, just taking photos. I think the best way to do it is work for somebody like you or any photographer, established photographer, to learn the behind the scenes, right? Because that's where you really learn the stuff.
Exactly.
And you realize it's not all glamorous like everybody thinks it is.
That's right. Traveling through an airport at 2 a.m.
Dragging your equipment through.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's for sure. All right. Well, this has all been amazing. So, if people want to follow you, how can they do that?
I have my own personal Instagram, which is Luciana Pampalone. At Luciana Pampalone, it's on Instagram, and then I have my other one, Dream Team Creatives, that I have with my husband, and that is.
And we'll put it all in the notes too.
I've got it written here. It's Dream_Team_Creatives1.
Okay. And we'll make sure it's all written out so everybody can follow that for sure.
And I'll give you both the websites too.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. No. Definitely check out her work. Follow her on Instagram because you'll see her out and about on all exciting things, being that top 100 creative influencer, which I think is a huge honor for you. I want to thank you for doing this. We have to definitely get together this summer.
Yes.
Well, thank
Please.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to sign up for our email newsletter at markstevenagency.com and subscribe and comment on your favorite podcast app. This is creating the perfect experience where passion meets inspiration.